Hello and welcome to season 3 of Faith to Flourish. I am your host, Veronica Burnett, and I'm so excited that you've joined me again. It's been a while since I've recorded and have brought you an episode, but I hope that you take time to go back and look at the old ones so you can catch up to today. Season 3 could not get started without my wonderful friend, Crystal Green. I'm going to get to introduce her in a minute, but I just had to say that, right? Season 3 had to start with this powerhouse, phenomenal woman. So let me tell you a little bit that's been going on. I have relocated to another county. Yay me. God has kept his word and shown himself faithful and just blessed me and my daughter with some wonderful gifts that we've been praying about. So we're so excited about that. And dun, 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 I'm so silly. I finished my second book. Yay! Faith to Flourish is the name of the book. You can find it on my website, veronicaburnett.com, and you can also order it on Amazon. Now, if you go to my website and you order it, then you will get an autographed copy of it with a special note in it from me. So do that for me, veronicaburnett.com. You can get this book. And so, also, don't forget to like, comment, and share this video. You want to stay tuned. You want to watch everything to the end and share this video, okay? All right. So now let me just read a little excerpt from my book because it's going to lead into what we're talking about today. So again, the book is called Faith to Flourish, and this chapter is called Faith in Prayer, and it's just a couple of sentences. Faith to pray requires you to have faith to talk to God. Faith in prayer is believing that while you're praying, God is moving. It's believing that whatever you are praying for, God already has it and it is being released in your life. So let me tell you about my friend Crystal. Crystal is the founder and CEO of CAG Consulting LLC and host of the Unshakable Faith, Unstoppable Business podcast. As a business growth strategist and coach, she helps women coaches and service providers create momentum, build strong infrastructure, and grow profitable, scalable businesses. With over a decade of experience in coaching, leadership, and tech, Coach Crystal blends strategy, systems, and soul to guide her clients towards clarity and consistent revenue. From landing clients to packaging premium offers, she equips entrepreneurs to grow with power and purpose, turning vision into action and hustle into results. Listen, I'm tired of hustling, okay? All right, let us welcome my wonderful friend, my business coach, Crystal Green. Welcome, Crystal.
Thank you, Veronica. Thank you for having me.
Yes. So, Crystal, is there anything about, other than what I read in the bio that you want to share with your with the audience today? Because I don't want to miss something that you would like to share about you.
Well, I have a passion for people and helping them to achieve their dreams, cheerleading them on, just being that person on the sideline that is a reminder to keep going and that you can do it.
I love it. I love it. All right, Crystal, I don't want to keep us too long. I don't want to keep talking because everybody needs to hear you. Okay. So you talk about now faith, the now faith formula, the power of now. And before we jump into that, I want to ask you, why is faith so important to you?
Faith is so important to me because it is the lifeline. It's the engine in the car, your heart. Like faith, we need it in order for us to move forward. In order for us as believers, just having that faith, because faith is an action, it's a verb. And for us to, be moving forward, taking that action. It's so important in life. It's so important in business. It's just moving forward. And so, God said in Hebrews how he's pleased with our faith. And so if our dream, if our desire is to please God, then we need to be operating in faith.
Yes, I'm pulling up the scripture. I looked it up last night. Hebrews 11:1. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. Now I looked at the Bible version on my phone. I know it, but I didn't want to mix up the words. I want you to hear it. Now faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. That is Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1. And that word now, that leads us to what you wanted to talk about. So today we're talking about the power of now. Can you explain to us why the power of now?
So, for us to take action, right? So many times people make all these plans, they have all these dreams, they have all these wishes, but they don't move forward. And so I want to go back to the scripture, Hebrews 11:1, which you'd be surprised how many times people quote that scripture and they leave off now.
Yes.
And now it's a small word, but it's so powerful because now means right now in this moment, but it continues to move, which means that we have to be active. But you also have to go back to Hebrews chapter 10. Why did the Hebrew writer start off chapter 11 with the word now? Was because that in Hebrews chapter 10, in that last section of the chapter, the Hebrew writer is encouraging us not to shrink back, but to live by faith and press forward to receive God's promises, to not lose our confidence, to remember the promises that God has said to us, right? And then he starts it off with now.
Right now.
Which means right now, as it continues to go, which means that it never stops. Which means that we shouldn't stop, right? Yeah.
Listen, I feel like I'm in a Bible study class right now, okay? But I never thought about it like that. Like now is continuing. Like every second is now. And every second, every moment that you get is your now opportunity to take action. Crystal, if I had my phone, I'd throw it across the room right now, okay? I love that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's the now. And so that's why this topic, it has been resonating with me. I've been holding on to this topic for a while, the power of now. And it's like people need to hear it. It's now. We always waiting for the perfect time. There will never be a perfect time. Right? And so that's why God is telling us now to move now. Don't worry about having all the pieces because you're not going to get all the puzzle, right? But it's stepping out on that faith.
Wow. I'm taking this all in for myself. I hope you all are grabbing this, and I'm taking this in for myself. Right now, the action right now, and not waiting for everything to just fall in line and be, all the stars aligned for you to do something. Like imperfect action is action. It's going to lead you somewhere, and you may hit a wall, you may make a mistake, but you are moving by faith and in faith right now, and you're taking action. I love this, Crystal.
Yeah. And then also remembering that now faith isn't just about believing. It's about moving, deciding, and acting with urgency and trust.
Yes. With urgency
it's
and
trusting
trust.
God. It's trusting that what he's giving you the vision, and that he's going to provide the provision for it. Right? So we have to remember it's that now, like operating in now.
I like that you say he has the provision. My mom always tells me that God has he makes provisions because he has prevision. And I'm like, man, that's good. He already knows what's going to happen. So he provides everything we need, even before we need it, because he already knows the plan. He's already know what the end result is. And so he gives us all of that. We just have to trust that he's got it. I think that's where
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I think that's where we fall off sometimes because we don't tangibly see him. We have a hard time trusting, especially when it's somebody like me who's a solopreneur and a solo parent. And you do everything. Like, I've been single all my life, and so you do and do and do and do because that's all you know to do. By your hands, you do everything. And so when you get to a point, and I talk about it in my book, shameless plug, but when you get to a point where you're like, I can't do this, and all you have is God. And he's like, I've been telling you to trust me. I have all of this. I already know what the end is going to be. Trust me. I got you.
Yes. And one other thing, when you mentioned that he knows the plan, he knows everything, and he also knows that you can do it.
Oh, let's just let that sit and resonate for a minute. I'm taking notes. Okay. He knows.
Yes, he knows that we can do it. Right? And so another thing that you mentioned, we do it all. We do it by our hand. But God's plan is so much bigger. His way is so much bigger, right? He could do exceedingly abundantly above all that we can ask or think, right? And so it's for us to let that go and trust him and believe and take action, right? Because you're going to make mistakes, right? Because we're not perfect. So you're going to make mistakes. You're going to fail. But failure is not bad. Failure is learning. It's a lesson. So you're learning, right? And so, but we have to keep in mind to keep moving forward. And that is my passion, is to get people to keep moving forward. And whatever it is, whatever your assignment is, to keep moving forward.
Yeah. Don't stay stuck. I remember you saying before, get unstuck. All right. This is good. So this is leading us to our topic, the power of now. And one of the things that you have in your arsenal is the now faith formula. What is the now faith formula?
So the now faith formula is just a five step formula that God gave me to share to help people to move forward. And as I said, you can apply this to life. You can apply it to business. I'm going to be focusing more on the business side, but I do want everyone to know that you can apply this to all aspects of your life. Okay. And so, as I mentioned with now faith, so faith is taking action, but the now is not waiting to do it. So I wanted to be clear with that, because our business moves at the speed of decisions. So we can't afford to wait until we feel ready, because that may never happen, or it may take years. Because if you think about it, we've all been in this position where we've had a dream, we had an idea, and we get pumped up about it or whatever, but we don't move forward. It falls by the wayside, right? And you like, oh, tomorrow, I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it when I'm ready, when it's perfect. And then it never happened. You look back and it's like, it's been a year, 5 years, 10 years.
Yes.
right? Because we didn't take that action to move forward. And so with the now faith, another thing, I'm sorry, that I wanted to say is, now faith is action before confirmation, obedience before all the answers.
Oh my.
Right. It's being obedient. It's now, right?
Wait, Crystal. Wait.
Uh-huh.
Obedience before the action.
Before all the answers.
Before all the obedience,
so it's action
before all the answers.
Yeah, action before confirmation. Obedience before all the answers. Because we want all the answers.
Yes,
we do. We want to know. We want to know A to Z what it is, right? But that's where the trust comes in. That's where the faith comes in. Mm-hmm. Because if he says go, we have to go, right? You don't want to have a Jonah experience.
No.
Don't none of us want to have a Jonah experience, because if it's your purpose, if it's something, it's his will for you to do it. We either do it sooner or later, but you're going to end up doing it, right? Mm. So why not take the straight path to it? All right. And so also, I want to let the audience know is that faith without works is dead, right? We know that, but works without faith is exhausting.
Wait. Crystal, you hit me too hard. Work without faith is exhausting.
Think about that hamster wheel.
Oh my
It's just going, you just working, you being busy, but your busy is not, it's not producing anything. When you think of business, you're busy in your business, but your bank account is empty, right? Because you're just being busy, right? And so we have to couple them together, faith and the works, right? We have to put them together. You can't do it one without the other. All right. And so with the now faith formula is that I'm going to use the example of the biblical example of Peter walking on water. So in Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33 is the story of with Peter walking on water. So I'm going to walk through my formula using that reference of scripture. Right. And so it's a familiar story. Just to give a synopsis of it, it was there was the multitude. Jesus was talking to the multitude. And so once he was done, he sent the disciples ahead. So they got on the boat, went ahead, and Jesus went into the mountain to pray. And then once he was done, he walked across the water to get to them. Right. And so during this time, there was a storm. The winds had kicked up, right? The winds. And I don't know about you, but my last cruise that I was on, those winds kicked up. That water was choppy, throwing you like to and fro. And that was on a ship. So imagine on a boat.
Yeah.
The feeling of that, right? And so they're in the sea, and the winds is tossing to and fro, and Jesus is walking across the water. And at first, they were afraid, because they're like, who is this? Because what's going on? And so Jesus, of course, as he always did, the comfort was like, be of good cheer, and so they were calm. And then we get to Peter, my buddy Peter.
Yeah.
Peter was that bold disciple. He was the bold. And so Peter, he said, if it's you, Lord, bid me to come. Right. So he said that to him. Right. And so we know that Jesus told him to come. He got off the boat, started walking. Then he started sinking. Jesus saved him. And then they went back on. So I'm going to walk through the formula, the now faith formula using this example. But I encourage everyone to go back and read It's in Matthew chapter 14, verses 22 through 33. And so the first one is confidence. And this is believing that God called you, right? And so Peter recognized Jesus' voice, because when Jesus said, come, he had that confidence to respond to that belief. And so that's what caused him to step out of the boat. And so as entrepreneurs, we have to trust our assignment, even when the waters look risky, right? And so let's talk about this for a second. So as you know, entrepreneurs, we're in a time now where social media is the thing. You got to go out on social media, and if you're anything like me, it's one of the things that you do not enjoy doing. Right? I get it, because it feels like you're speaking to a void, that you're out in a crowded ocean and throwing things up against the wall to get people's attention. Right? You know, some people, they do wild, crazy things to go viral, right? Just so people would have eyes on them. But the thing about it is that we have to trust our assignment. We have to be obedient to the assignment that God gave us, whether it's a business or in life, in ministry, whatever your assignment is, this is what God gave you to do, which, as I said before, he knows that you can do it. Now we have to know and believe that we can do all things through Christ that strengthens us. We say it, but do we 100% believe that? Right? And so looking at with Peter, because it's not physically possible to walk on water. It's not, right? In the ocean. And so his faith, he had to tap into his faith that if I step out this boat, that I'm not going to drown. Right? And so we have to take that first step. We have to tell ourselves, I can do this. Whatever the this is, I can do it. Right? And you may have to keep saying it over and over again, but know that you can do it. Right? Remember that you are equipped, that you are called, and you are capable right now.
Okay, Crystal.
Right now, that you are, because we've already established that God put it in us. He would not give it to us if we weren't able to do it. So we have to believe that. We have to believe that God has called us. Now, one of the things that happens quite often is imposter syndrome kicks in. We start comparing ourselves to other people, right? And so that starts to bring the doubt in. Now, I say that I could do it. I know I believe that I could do it, but then I'm comparing myself. And so Teddy Roosevelt, he said, comparison is the thief of joy. And that is so true, because once you start comparing yourself, it's like you're uplifting that person or people that you're comparing to, and then minimizing yourself as if you're not good enough. But you are, because you are equipped, you are called, you are capable. Right? And so that's when you have to put those blinders on, stop looking at everyone else, and do your assignment. I remember when I was at a conference a couple of years ago, because I'm guilty of it. You know, I had other coaches that were, you know, further along in their journey, and I'm comparing myself to them and thinking, like, why would people listen to me when you got this? And so I heard God clearly in that conference. He told me to unfollow It was 3 coaches that I was following. He told me to unfollow them. And I did it immediately, and it felt so freeing. Because if I'm not following you, I don't know what it is that you're doing. And if we end up doing the same thing, then I'm not copying off of you. I'm doing my assignment. And so you have to be bold enough to unfollow if that's the thing. Right? Because this is your journey, and not compare it, because you don't want to keep bringing yourself down, right? We are to uplift ourselves, being positive, right? And so that's what with confidence. So he stepped out because he recognized Jesus's voice. Then the second one is clarity. Is keep your focus on the goal. So as long as Peter was looking at Jesus, he was fine, because the storm. So the thing about it is, which I love reading God's word, is that you see something different each time, right? And so when you look at it, the storm is still going, right? The storm never stops, right? And so as he's walking, he's looking at Jesus, and he's walking on water. He would have been like, oh, look at this, like,
right.
In amazement that this is happening, that he's doing this, but he kept his eyes on Jesus. He was fine, right? And so with us, what happens is that we have a vision, we have a goal, and then for whatever reason, we get distracted. So we going this way, then we get distracted, and then we over here doing something that's totally out of alignment, right? And so, which brings the confusion, because a lot of people, I'm stuck, I'm confused, I'm overwhelmed, and it's like, but what happened to get you off course? Those distractions. And so we have to keep that vision in front of us. We have to keep that goal, because that goal is our measuring stick, right? We're working towards the goal. And the thing is that the goal should never move. Mm-hmm. We move, like we push it further back and back, but it's like, no, the goal should not move. Mm-hmm. Right? And so we have to be aware of staying in alignment, right? You think of a car, and when that car is not in alignment, what happens when you take your hand out the wheel? It's going this way, it's going this way, it's not going straight. And so we have to get in alignment with our vision, align our vision with our goal. Whether it's life or in business, what is the goal? What is the end goal? Right? And that's what we should be working to, no matter how the water is looking, the wind, when the wind kicks up, right? And so remember that faith without action is just a wish. Mm-hmm. God is waiting on us to move. He's waiting on us to move. And so find a way, like, encourage yourself. I love affirmations and scriptures. Encourage yourself with those distractions, and be aware of what is a distraction. Because sometimes you got to say, no, this is the distraction. Like, get out of my way. Go ahead.
Crystal, I'm glad that you're talking about distractions right now. I just want to share this one thing about distractions. Mm-hmm. Like, for me, I know what the goal is. And sometimes that goal is so big that you just be like, I don't know. I know that's not what he meant. And I did not ever think that what you said, he knows that we can do it. That never crossed my mind, right? It's always, oh, that's too big. That's too big. Mm-hmm. So all these other things come up. Then I'm like, oh, I can do that. I can do that. And most of the time, that the thing that distracts me is someone else's goal and vision. And I'm like, oh, I can help you with that. And I run over there and I help them reach their goal, meet their goal. And then I'm sitting here like, well, Lord, what am I supposed to do? The very first thing I told you to do. But you keep running all over. I'm telling you. And even now I was approached with something that kind of aligns with what I do and would give me the opportunity to really operate using my gift. But if I don't do the first thing that God told me to do, over here is a distraction because He gave me an assignment. Why am I waiting for someone else to bring me an assignment and I jump and do theirs? That's not, I still got my assignment to do. Those are distractions. They're good distractions, but they're distractions and they keep you from reaching your goal. I just wanted to say that because that hit hard. Yeah.
Yep, that is true. Because we see it's the shiny object.
Yes. Yes.
It's like, ooh, this is so pretty. And then you over here doing this and you done forgot
like little
what it is that you're supposed to be what it is you're supposed to be doing. Yeah. And so we have to go being clear, going back to the vision, going back to your goals, going back to in business, who it is that you're serving, how, what problem are you solving, how are you solving it, right? Getting all of that in alignment, right? Because this is your assignment. And if it's a God-given assignment, it ain't going away. It's going to constantly keep coming back up until you do what? Do what it is that you're supposed to do, right? Yeah. And so that was the second thing was clarity. The third one is courage. Move despite fear. And so this is where I say to have a no matter what attitude. I'm going to show up no matter what. Oh. If it's one person in the room, if it's nobody in the room, I'm going to show up because I want to be obedient to my assignment. And so when we look back at Peter, he didn't wait for the storm to pass because remember the storm was still going, but he moved through it. He moved through the storm. And so, just having that courage and just knowing, to take that step anyway. It's just to take the step anyway, because you're believing I can do it. I got that confidence. I'm believing that I can do it. Now I need to couple that with courage in doing it. Right? Two different things. Confidence, I know I can do it. I believe I can do it. Courage, I'm going to do this. I'm doing it. Right? It's that action. And that's what we see with Peter is that he did step off that boat and he did keep moving. And so we're going to always have uncertainty, right? But we just keep taking that step anyway. Right? And so showing up no matter what, doing whatever it is that we're going to have a no matter what attitude, which means that it does not, it's not based on how I feel. It's not, because if it won't be perfect.
No.
I would say that I remember when I had this post and I was like mulling over and it kept making sure everything was right. And I'm like, is it, grammatically correct? Is it this? Is it that? And then I finally pressed send. Had a misspelling in it. I'm like, it will never be perfect. It will never be perfect. But the thing is that you just do it anyway. You do it anyway. Also, like in the beginning, going live. And at the end, I forgot to hit the button to stop it. So, but I took this really deep breath at the end. Like, that's over. And right, but I didn't know how to cut it out or anything, but I just put the post out anyway. And then I had like a couple of people were like, you should delete that at the end. No. Because that shows that I'm human.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do this no more than anybody else wants to do it, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I did it.
Yes.
And I got through it.
Yes.
And so that's the courage that we're doing that. We have to step out of the boat. We have to step out of that comfort zone. Joshua 1:9 reminds us that we have to be bold and courageous, not afraid, not discouraged, right? Which those two, they come up. You get discouraged because I'm not seeing any results. I'm not seeing it, right? Which brings the discouraged. I'm discouraged now. I don't want to do this. So you stop, right? I'm guilty of it.
Yeah.
Right? Because I want to know that somebody is at least listening.
Yeah.
Somebody, right? And so but we have to be strong. We have to be bold. We have to operate in that courage. And so the fourth part of the formula is connection. And this is where we see when Peter is about to sink, he called on Jesus immediately, right? He called on Jesus immediately. Jesus, reached down and got him. And then they walked back to the boat, which I found that to be so interesting, that as they were walking back to the boat, of course, I'm thinking in my mind, Peter is holding on. You know how you grip your child, grip onto you real tight, like don't let me go. That is what I'm imagining how Peter was going back, because that was a traumatic experience to be sinking, but the storm is still going, which is just confirmation is that Jesus is with us. That we are not out here by ourselves, right? And so even in the physical realm is that we need to have some type of support system around us, especially as an entrepreneur. You need to have someone. I'm a big proponent of accountability partners. Yeah. I have a couple, right? Having an accountability partner, the right accountability partner. Yeah. Right? Someone that is going to hold you accountable and you are doing the same with them. That encouragement, someone where you just like, you know what, I am frustrated, I want to quit. We need to have that, or having a mentor, being a part of a community. Don't do this alone. You need to be connected with faith-filled people. People that are going to, pray with you, encourage you, read scripture, be there for you to help you along in your journey. And you're doing the same for someone else, right? We all should be reaching back and helping someone, right? We should be doing that. That's how we grow. You want to say something?
I wanted to say something about the accountability partner, because I love that you say have the right ones. I know for me, I can't have an accountability partner who's going to pacify me. You have to come to me straightforward, right? And my skin might not be as thick as it needs to be, but I'm going to hear you, because whatever you say to me, it may seem it needs to be the truth. Like, they have to be able to tell you the truth, and you've got to be able to receive it in love and not as a victim. Even with my health journey right now, I told my daughter, I said, hey, I need you to help me with this. So these are the things that I need to be doing, and eating healthier is one of the things. So I said to her, listen, you have the space to say to me, mommy, you shouldn't be eating that. Or, mommy, did you work out today? And so one day when we were out, I said, I want this, and this. She says, mommy, you already know. You don't need that in your diet. And it's going to make you sick. And it's going to make you gain weight. So don't eat it. You want to be able to fit those. She come at me. I gave her the space to come to me and keep me accountable to my responsibility and my assignment of my health. And so having the right accountability partner in your corner, on your side, around you. It's important. It really
Mm-hmm.
is. Because even the accountability partner that knows when you're getting discouraged and able to encourage you to keep going. Like, they have to know you. So that's all I wanted to say.
Yeah. And it's key because just having that voice where you like, oh, you right. I did ask for this. I asked for you to hold my feet to the fire. And she is holding your feet to the fire. Right. And so that is the right connection. You know, and I will say that my longest accountability partner that I've had in business, it's been since like 2019. And so we meet weekly, once a week. We meet. And so I think it was last year we changed the format a bit because it was always, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this, you know, and then of course, you know, some of those this fall to the side. So we changed it to talking about what we've done. Right. And it's, oh my gosh, it has been wonderful because I know I can't show up to this call and I haven't done at least something. Yeah. Right. Yeah. And so, I do encourage people to get an accountability partner because doing this by yourself, you're going to be lonely. And when it's time for you, when you get to the point where you want to quit, you're just going to quit because there's no one that's like, no, don't quit. Try to do it different. You know, remember your why. You could do this, like having that cheerleader. And so the last part of the Now Faith formula is consistency. And this is with the keep walking step by step, that consistency. And so we saw how with Peter is that he began to sink when he stopped walking. That's when he looked at his circumstances, right? The wind had kicked up and he looked at his circumstances instead of continuing to look at Jesus, and he started to sink. And that's the same with us, is that we look at we're looking for results. We're looking to see. I'm doing this stuff, but I'm looking to see if that little bud is growing. I planted the seed and you know, and I'm looking to see, right? But sometimes, you know, we get so impatient that we digging it up. Oh my gosh. Right? Yeah. Because that goes back to the clarity. We know what our vision is. We know what our goal is, but because we are not seeing any results, oh, that must be wrong. I need to dig it up and do it over. No, stop. We need to be consistent, right? We need to take those intentional actions, whether they're small, daily, and that builds the momentum, right? When you look at working out, the hardest part to anything, especially working out, is starting. We're like, I'm gonna start on Monday. I'm gonna start next month because this is the middle of the month, so I'm going to wait until the 1st. Then I'm gonna wait till the first Monday. Well, some weeks then went by, so I'm gonna wait. So it's the starting, and so we have to have that courage to start. And once you start, you just keep going, taking one step at a time, right? Because it's not you're not competing against anyone else. This is your journey, your race, right? So you're taking that step, no matter how small that step is, as long as you're constantly moving. Because when you look, if you're out walking and you're taking those small steps, if you happen to turn behind and look, you're like, wow, I done went that far, right? Because you're constantly moving. We have to build that momentum, right? And that we have to just keep going. And also, no matter what. It's like, no matter what, I still have to keep going, right? You have to find but identify those wins and celebrate those wins, no matter how little or big they are. That helps to build momentum because with like on a weight loss journey, you may not see it on the scale, right? Every time. But you see it in your clothes.
You see it in your face.
You see it in your face. You see it in the more strength you have when you're working out.
Yes.
You're like, oh, I was able to jog around a lap and I don't need an oxygen tank.
Yes.
That's a win.
It's a big
right?
win.
That is a win. And so we have to
walk up the steps without being winded.
and without stopping, right? So it's like that is a win.
Yes.
And so we have to celebrate those wins in life and in business.
Yeah.
We have to celebrate it. Now, we always want the big win, but those small wins are just as important because the celebrating the small wins is going to build that momentum so you can get to the big win. Right? And being consistent because we stop a lot. Now, I'm not going to do it. It's hard.
Mm-hmm.
I have to put some work in. I'm not going to do it. And then we start doing something else. That's totally. Mm-hmm. We do everything else except for this over here because it takes a lot of work. It's taking too long. It's all the things.
Crystal, yes. Listen, that is so me. Like when I know I have, I need to focus on something business related. I will do everything else in my house. I will wash the dishes. I will do laundry. I will start cleaning up things, dusting, all these things before I get to the one thing that I need to do, which will take maybe 20 to 30 minutes. But I put it off because I don't feel like it right now.
Right. Mm-hmm. And the reason, and you're not alone. Mm-hmm. So as I always say, be gentle with yourself because you're not alone. Mm-hmm. The thing about it is that what is happening in that moment is faith fatigue. Oh. Right? Which is it could be, it's mental, spiritual, emotional exhaustion. From believing and working towards something without seeing results yet. Mm-hmm. So when you think about it, it's like, you want me to post on social media for 30 days and no one has liked my post? I don't want to do that. I'm going to go over here and do this, right? It's that faith fatigue. Mm-hmm. And that's in life general, just in life because faith fatigue shows up because we start doubting the promises that God has told us that we were sure of at one time, right? Yeah. We get feeling stuck in that when God frustration, right? When is this going to happen? Struggling to stay hopeful for the future. Right? Comparing your journey to others who seem to be receiving their answers. Right? Loss of motivation, shrinking our vision, shrinking ourselves, and avoiding risk. This is all a part of faith fatigue. Right? So I shared with you the noun faith formula, right? And you pumped up and you like, yeah, I could do this. Right? But this is waiting around the corner because we look at our circumstances. Go back to Peter. Peter was walking on water. He was a miraculous thing, right? Looking at Jesus, the wind kicks up a little bit. What happens? He's looking at his circumstance like the wind is kicking up and I'm here on water. I'm out here in water.
Out here on this water.
Right? And he stopped looking at Jesus and looked at his circumstance. That's the same thing that we do. I've been waiting for this. I know that God told me that this is going to happen, but it hasn't happened yet. And the years go by. We start out on a high. We like, yes, God, we got all the scriptures, the songs, but as the time, time is the same as the wind kicking up with Peter. So that time ticks on and you just like, maybe God forgot. Did he forget that he said that he was going to do XYZ? Or maybe I didn't hear God say that. Maybe that was me that said that.
Maybe I got it wrong.
Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe I'm not supposed to be doing this business. Maybe I'm not supposed to have this be operating in this ministry. Right? That's faith fatigue. And we all experience it.
Yeah.
Right? We all experience that.
I'm so glad you gave words to those feelings, because I hope that it encourages someone to know that they're not by themselves in how they feel, and they're not crazy for feeling that way. We all feel it. And I know you're going to tell us what we need to do to get beyond faith fatigue, so I'm going to be quiet.
Yes. No, this is good, because we do all feel it. And that's just a trick. That's a trick of the enemy on I'm the only one that feels this way. You mean out of billions of people on this earth, you're the only one?
That's it.
That feels this way, that this is happening to, right? And so that's what's happening. So whenever you get to a point where it's just like, I really don't want to do this anymore, we have to take a step back and do an assessment. And like, is my faith fatigue at this moment? Because if I'm operating in now faith, right now faith,
immediately,
then I should be still moving no matter what.
No matter what. Like, no matter whether the fruit is shown right now or not, I got to keep moving.
Yeah. No matter what.
My
right?
goodness.
And so the ways that we can overcome faith fatigue is, one is renew, which is renewing our mind, renewing our spirit, daily time in the word, prayer, affirmations. One thing that we have to do is that we have to be honest with God. At that moment, we have to be honest with God. He can handle our raw emotions. He can handle it. Right? And we have to be real. And the one thing is that our belief, sometimes our belief, goes up and down. Right? And so Mark 9 verse 24, it reminds us that we need to be honest and say, Lord, I believe, but help my unbelief. I believe, however, it's still this little part right here, I'm still not 100%. Help my unbelief. So we have to be raw with that, with God, right? He already knows. He wants us to come to him. He wants us to give it to him, cast our cares on him, because he does care.
Right.
He cares about the things we care about.
Yes, he does.
No matter how big or small, he cares about it.
Let me tell you something. When I read that scripture, that he is concerned, he cares about everything concerning me. Everything. Like everything that concerns me, he cares about, and he has not forgotten me.
Nope.
Not forgotten me.
He has not forgotten us. Right? And so we have to renew. Then also refocus, which is revisiting the promise, revisiting the vision that God gave you, getting back in alignment, going back to why you started. It always goes back to your why. Why am I doing this? Why do I want this? Why is, so going back to that why. And just remember having those small faith actions, because it's building momentum, right? Because we operating in now faith. And you also want to recharge. You want to surround yourself with faith-filled people, going back to accountability partners or a community that you're a part of that is helping you to recharge, that recharge your energy. One thing that I wanted to point out with this in the faith fatigue is that going back to the time, how long it's taking, right? We know that God's time is not our time, right? It's not our time. But the thing is that instead of being in a posture of why God, why not, why has it not happened, right? It's that we now shift to what is it that I should be doing?
Yeah.
What is it that I need to get, how to get myself ready, right? One thing Erica Campbell says all the time is praying, Lord, prepare me for what you have prepared for me.
Yeah.
Because he has things for us.
Mm-hmm.
However, maybe this version of you isn't ready for that. So what do I need to do internally to get in alignment with what he has prepared for me? And that goes back to the honest conversations where God is like, well, this area you need to work on.
He will tell you.
Right. He will tell you. So I have these opportunities for you. Now you have to align with that now faith, that confidence, that courage, so that you can operate in that promise that he has for you. Okay. So those are the things with faith fatigue, and one key scripture that you can have in your toolbox is Galatians 6:9. And let us not be weary in well doing, for in due season we shall reap if we faint not. Right? In due season. And only God knows when that season is. Right? And so we have to continue, as I said, encouraging ourselves, filling ourselves with scripture and prayer and community to help us through these patches, these rough patches, because it's only a patch. When you look at the whole journey, you're like, oh, it was just a couple of hills that I had to conquer. But just remembering that God knows you can do it.
Crystal,
he knows you can do it.
I want to revisit one thing that you talked about in faith fatigue, when you talked about revisiting. And so while you were talking, it made me think about this notebook that I have. And so in the notebook, I write down things that God said to me in prayer. I write down prophecies that were given to me by trusted people. And I write down scriptures and things like that. And then different assignments that God has given me. And so when I feel like it's just not happening, when my faith is fatigued, because I didn't know that was a term. When my faith is fatigued, I go back to it and say, okay, God, you said this, you said this, you said this. And I know your word is true. I know you're not going to lie to me. I know you're going to keep your promises. So if you said it, this is what I'm going to have to stand on. And this is what I'm going to have to believe for now. I would like to see it sooner rather than later. However, I believe that your word is true. And so I remind myself, God said he's not going to leave me or forsake me. God said he's not going to take this from me. God said that his blessings are rich and add no sorrow. So if I believe that the things that God has blessed me with in my life, the business that he's given me, the friendships that he's allowed me to develop, all the things, if I believe what he said to me And in this notebook that I've written down, then this is what I got to stand on. God, help me. Help me right now. Move these emotions out of the way. And so by the time I finish like giving myself this pep talk and me and God talking, I'm reminding him of what he said in his word and to me directly. All right, you got this. Let me go ahead on to work. Let me go ahead to this grocery store. Let me go ahead and do what I have to do. Go and sit at this computer and do what I need to do. But you may have to just sit down and write out what he's told you. Write out what his promises are to you. Write out scriptures, like she said, and remind yourself all the time. This is what God has said. And if I haven't seen it yet, that means it's not the end. That means it's not due season. That means there's still more time for me to operate in the now.
Yep. Yes, writing down is key. And also I would like to add, write down the answers to your prayers, the blessings that you've received, because those are your God receipts. So when you are in that fatigue state, you could go back and say, well, I remember when God did XYZ. And then he did this. Like, it's just going and constantly reminding yourself. Yes.
And receipts always have dates on them. Put the date. Put the date on those receipts. The date of your prayer, prophecy, scripture readings, and the date of those answers. Absolutely. Yes. Yeah. Wow, Crystal. You have given us so much to digest. That faith fatigue. I mean, that got me right there. I just never thought about it like that. But we all experience it. And I'm so glad you brought that to light and didn't just leave us in the faith fatigue, but you gave us ways to get out of it. So I appreciate that. And I know that it sounds like it's just for your life, but this is in every area of your life, including business. Because if we're operating kingdom businesses, all of it is to glorify God, then you definitely have to have faith in business as an entrepreneur, solopreneur, someone developing or building out a business, whatever you have got to have faith. You've got to have faith. I wanted to read something. I was in this week-long challenge with Jasmine Womack. This is not a plug for her. She did not ask me to do this. But one of the things that she said to us when we were talking about money, she said, in order to have a fruit system, you must have a root system. In order to have a fruit system, you must have a root system. And our fruit system has to be rooted in faith. It's got to be rooted in faith. Only then will you see the fruit of your actions, your now actions. And so I just wanted to share that because it was so meaty to me, and it hit hard because I was like, let me look at the fruit in my life right now. So if I don't see fruit in the area that I want to see fruit, then I'm not operating in faith somewhere. I'm not doing some action somewhere. Something in my system has broken down. So let me go back and fix that root. And that root is faith and belief. Courage, consistency. What else did you tell us? Courage, consistency, clarity. I got it right here. Write my phone. Get my phone down. Confidence. All of those are the root. Those are the roots that leads to this beautiful fruit that we are looking for in every area of our lives. So thank you, Crystal. Go ahead.
Okay. You're welcome. But I also want to remind the audience that fear and faith both demand belief.
Oh, they both demand
belief. You have to be believing in it. So why not choose faith? Choose to believe in faith. And then also, God's timing isn't just perfect. It's purposeful. The longer you wait to act, the more you delay what he's placed in you to release.
I hope y'all got that. I did. I did. Wow.
Mm-hmm. So I just want to encourage the audience to identify one boat you need to step out of this week and take that first step. Ask yourself the question, what have I been avoiding? Because that's the thing that you're supposed to be doing.
Crystal. Oh. This is good. Mm-hmm. All right. So before we go, Crystal, tell us first, do you have any offerings that you want to extend to our audience, and then ways to reach you, contact you? Like, you are an amazing business coach. And as you can see, she doesn't just give you a strategy for the business, but she gives you the roots, the seeds. She gives you the seeds to plant so that you can move forward and take action with the system that she gives you. Well, helps you create and craft for your business. But how do we reach you? And you are free to share any offerings that you might have.
So the one thing that I'm offering the audience is that if you need a boost to walk boldly in your now faith, I invite you to join my free text list for motivation, tips, and accountability to help you stay confident, consistent, and courageous in your purpose. You can text now faith to 207-718-1696 and start walking boldly right where you are. You can find me on IG at I am Coach Crystal, or you can visit my website, coachcrystal.co.
All right, coachcrystal.co. That's her website. Instagram, I'm Coach Crystal. I'm Coach Crystal. And don't forget to join her text program so that you can get all of your encouragement that you need. As you can see, she has a wealth of knowledge, and she really does care about her clients and people in general. And I know that once you connect with Crystal, your life will never be the same. Never be the same. Never be the same. So thank you, Crystal, so much for making the very first episode of season 3 amazing. I knew you would, and I so appreciate your yes. I appreciate your yes. So you all stay tuned for the very next one. There will be more conversations happening, more guests, and I'll be talking more about faith that you need throughout your life, in every area of your life. Again, if you have not purchased the Faith to Flourish book, you can go to my website, veronicaburnett.com, or you can find it on Amazon at Faith to Flourish on Amazon. All right, I will see you all next time.